Hi. Don't. Quit. Okay. Will you pay attention? Hi, I'm Michelle from Unicorn and Centaur, and this is Sunny One Eye, and we are here today to do a hoof picking tutorial. This video is for my Centaur lesson students and goes along with what we learned in lesson 1. Now for a full grooming tutorial, I will link a card right up here, and there will also be a link in the description box below, but this is just the hoof picking part of it. If you're not one of my students and you're just a nerdy, crafty equestrian like me, then subscribe to the channel for more. Hoof care is essential to the health of a horse, and picking out hooves is just part of our daily routine. Remember in lesson 1 we talked about how the front legs and the back legs bend in different directions, and so it feels differently when you pick them up. The front legs, the knee joint bends forward like Sunny just demonstrated for us, and so the surface of the hoof when you pick it up is going to be right up here, back behind it. Now the back leg, the hop joint, remember, it moves back that way, so when this foot comes up, it comes up sort of underneath. And remember, when we're grooming, we start left to right, front to back. So we start with his front foot on the left side, his left side. Hold your hoof pick in your hand like this. But that's actually so you don't stab him. You want it pointing away from you when you pick the hoof out, because as dull as this is, it can absolutely draw blood from you and your horse. And you want to put your hip up next to his shoulder. Face his rear end and stand as close to him as you can, keeping in mind where he puts his feet. Now that you're right up next to him, you run your hand along the back of his leg and lift up, cradle that hoof in your hand, and then you see he's got all sorts of dirt in here. We hold our hoof pick and we pick out the grooves on each side of the frog. Remember, we talked about the frog in lesson 1. Use my brush side. Not all hoof picks have brushes on the end of them. I like them to help you see where you're going. Here we go. So we dig in these grooves. I'm holding him and supporting his hoof with my hand. Now we don't drop that hoof right down. We're going to let it down easily. Let him support himself and tell him good boy. Hand runs down the back. Lift up that leg, and I'm going to just position it. I'm holding his hoof again, supporting his hoof in my hand, and then picking out here. Ooh, Sunny, I need to put some stuff over. We're holding our hoof pick in our hand, where it's pointed this way. We're pointing at his rear. Got my hip right up against his shoulder, and then I take my hand and run it behind his hoof and pull his hoof up for him, and I hold it, and I'm supporting his hoof. Now, because I'm right-handed, I can hold it with my left hand on this side. If I felt like it, I could hold it this way and dig out this way. But you can see how here we can just dig out all of the extra dirt and stuff that's in his little hoofuses. And then very gently set it down. Okay, back hoof. He's already anticipating this one, so all I have to do is really kind of pick it up. And see, he's wanting to tuck it up way underneath. You might not be able to get a good clear shot of this one. And then here we go. There's a learning curve with halters and with hoof picking, so patience and practice are the keys. So that's all for our hoof picking tutorial today. We will see you in lesson 2, where we will review everything we've done in lesson 1. Remember, catching, haltering, leading safely, grooming, including hoof picking. So review this before the next lesson if you need to, and don't forget to review that other grooming tutorial as well. And I will see you for lesson 2, where we will learn all about tack and how to tack up and the basics of our seat. So again, if you're one of my students, I'll see you next lesson. And if you're not one of my students, I'll see you next video. Have a great day.